And if you're going to get the little pups out there, do it, when it's warm enough for them, their little paws don't get too cold.
Yeah, at least they got furs, though, so we don't. So just make sure you bundle up. But yeah, make sure your pets are also safe and warm out there. Pretty cold across the metro this morning. 27 at the Sunport, 10 in Moriarty, 8 degrees earlier. 16 right now in Los Lunas. Colder air is more dense. That's why some of the valley locations in the Rio Grande Valley colder than higher up in the atmosphere, a couple thousand feet above the Sunport, above freezing at 41 at Sandia Park, 32 in Tijeras, 28 Bernalillo, 29 Rio Rancho, again 34 Edgewood, 10 in Moriarty. On the other side of the Sandias in the valley locations, also again pretty cold, as well as in the South Valley in places like Los Lunas, 16 right now. 8 in Alamosa, 11 in Taos, 22 Durango, 27 Farmington, 42 in Clayton with a bit more of a breeze, mixing the air around, not allowing it to really drop as much as yesterday. 34 in Roswell, 27 in Socorro, 40 in Las Cruces, much cooler compared to yesterday. You guys were in the 50s for most of the morning. And whenever we have the lighter winds, that allows for radiational cooling, but winds are starting to pick up for some, allowing for some of the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere to experience some warmer weather above the colder, more dense valley floor locations. You can see the Sandias a little bit with the waning gibbous moon kind of highlighting the Rio Grande Valley this morning. 7 at the Sunport, an easterly wind at 5 miles per hour, 49% relative humidity. Clouds sagging to the east-southeast from Albuquerque to the south, mostly clear skies. And in the northeastern highlands, winds are starting to pick up, and these clouds, a signal of things to come. No rain nor any snow, only in the Rocky Mountains some snow flurries, and those clouds will sag to the south and east, but again, no precipitation. In the far upper northern part of the screen, some snow and some valley rain in the Colorado Rocky Mountain locations and the counterpart of valley locations as well. Here in Albuquerque, reaching about 57 this afternoon. 40s and 50s in the Four Corners of the northern mountain communities, high 30s in the high peaks. From Santa Rosa to the south in the 60s, and Carlsbad near the low 70s, or you may even reach 70 today. And to the south and west, Silver City, Deming, just as warm as yesterday in the high 60s and low 70s. So a little bit warmer compared to yesterday's 55 in Albuquerque. 57, about 10 degrees above normal this afternoon. Some afternoon clouds, but generally mostly sunny for most of the day. A little bit warmer, a little bit drier, and a bit windier. We're starting to see those winds picking up in Clayton, sustained at 22 miles per hour. And those blue colored shadings in the east slopes of the central mountain chain, also indicative of the winds going up and over and down the central mountain chain into the eastern slopes, indicative of that downsloping wind. Santa Rosa, Las Vegas, and Tucumcari and Clayton, winds may be gusting between 15 to 35 miles per hour, locally blowing some dust, some locally blown snow in the higher elevations, and the elevated fire threats, something we'll have to watch out for. If you guys are traveling on high-profile vehicles, be careful. It's all courtesy of this slight dip in the jet stream in northeastern areas of New Mexico. We're mostly under that upper-level ridge, which really extends into the Great Basin, but that dip in the jet stream with the dry air will allow for a backdoor front to switch the winds from the west to the east. The tail end of today's windier and warmer weather pattern will kind of be calmer and cooler come tomorrow, as afternoon temperatures a little bit cooler in Albuquerque, around 53, 30s and 40s for many northern mountain communities, and 50s and 60s to the south, much cooler compared to today. And then an upper level ridge builds back in throughout the later parts of the week, and that will allow for temperatures to rise come Thursday to about 57, 58, or even warmer in parts of the Albuquerque metro, warmer in northern areas in the 60s, and even near the low 70s in southern areas before another backdoor front moves on through later Thursday into Friday with lower temperatures. But generally, temperatures will still be above normal, and look what happens come Saturday into the weekend. From Albuquerque to Tucumcari all the way to the south and west, 50s and 60s reigning supreme in the 40s and 50s in northern areas throughout the weekend. Durango, temperatures will mostly be on the climb later this week into the weekend, but still places like Alamosa, single-digit low temperatures. Farmington to Grants and Cuba, highs mostly in the 50s. And from Camado to Las Cruces, highs in the 50s, 60s, and near the low 70s today there near in Lordsburg. Cloudcroft about 50, Carlsbad around 70, and 60s reigning supreme for much of the Pecos River Valley, with a stronger wind throughout the afternoon today in those locations, as well as in the northeastern highlands from more Las Vegas, especially to Capitoline and Clayton, but calmer and cooler tomorrow. Chilly in Red River today in the 40s, high 30s in the high peaks, high 40s, 50s, and low 60s elsewhere in the northern mountain communities from Moriarty, Sandia Park, and Tijeras, to from the North Valley to the South Valley of Albuquerque. Temperatures mostly around 10 degrees above normal in the high 50s, low 60s. Cooler and calmer tomorrow. Warmer on Thursday, cooler Friday, and warming up for the first day of winter on Saturday.
Cannot come soon enough, have the season match the temps and whatever's out there.
Right, but at least the main constant will be feeling more like winter, the cold overnight lows, morning temperatures. So, kind of going back and forth between the wind and the cool and the warm and all that kind of stuff.
That's when you feel it.
Right.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan.